video podcast. This is episode 36, and I'm your host, Steph, also known as the Knitting Samurai. It is a glorious Monday here at the last day of August, and I have the day off. I thought I'd walk down to the river and record a podcast for you. Unfortunately, the river is not cooperating with me, and it's very low tide, but it's nice to get outside. It's nice to sit here and chat before the day gets too warm. There's a bit of road noise. I hope that's not too distracting. And of course, the cricket, tree frog, bug things, what are they called? Cicadas, maybe? I don't know. They make their noise. That noise. So, let's get into the show, shall we? First up on my needles, I have the Luna Veritas cowl. So let me find that in my bag of tricks. Here it is. This is knit with Claudia hand paints in the Rock Creek colorway. I am using US size 6s, 4mm needles. And this isn't actually the Luna Veritas. It's her numbers, her stitch counts, and increases, decreases. But I added in the Age of Brass and Steam for the texture portion. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I could go either way on it. So that's going on. Yeah, I didn't work at it too much. I'm just about to join it in the round. I'm actually like that row or the next row is what I'm set to do. I'm contemplating changing this stitch pattern and maybe working in some sections of seed stitch or doing something other than the eyelets. I feel like that's maybe not exciting enough. So let's see, the next thing in my bag of tricks to share with you are the Frankenfingers. Frankenfingers? Knits by, and that reminds me of something. You may remember my Notions pouch lament last week. I was trying so hard to remember where it could be, figure it out. The boy took it, the vacuum took it. No, it was just me. I pulled out a hibernating project. Thought I would start working on it and put the Notions pouch in there. So I was digging through the closet the other day, just like, where could it be? I had gone under the couch with the grabby hand, one of the grabby hands, the boys each have one because it's fun to play with, and pulled everything I could find out. Wasn't under there. So I'm going through the closet and just looking for everything, and I found it. So made me feel so much better. This is a Petaloop bag. I have a box bag that matches this with the cute green owls on it. And then inside I have a tin filled to the gills with stitch markers, my chibi, a measuring tape, my beloved Ginger scissors. What else do I have in here? Just some loose stitch markers that I bought, some clippy ones, the Knit Picks purple ones, a needle gauge. This is my favorite needle gauge in the world. It's made by Addie, I believe. You can pick it up where you find Addie's. A second thing, these are smaller stitch markers, like sock knitting stitch markers. I used to knit a lot of socks, so I have a lot of that size. And then I have a clip. Maybe I can show it to you. Maybe they're all tangled together. Yeah. All right. So there's a clip with dangly stitch markers, which I'm really not a big fan of anymore. Used to be. Used to like the decoration on my work. Now I find it just adds weight and it's irritating to me. So there's that. There we go. So it's just a large safety pin, coilless safety pin, full of stitch markers and some embroidery thread in case I need it. So that's what's in my little Notions pouch that I was very sad to think of replacing. So get everything back in here, put it back in my bag where it belongs, my big bag. So this is, I realized, because I started doing time hop, I was in London 2 years ago at this time, and that's when I picked up this bag. So, and I love it. It's just like a Tyvek's bag, but you know, like you take to the grocery store, but it's been so worn that it's super floppy, and I just keep all my projects in there, and it's great. Okay, so back to the Frankenmits. They haven't seen a lot of love this week, but since I do have so few projects on the needles, I feel like I need to share what I do have. I started some thumb increases on the first one. So there we go. I hope the shadow isn't making it really hard to see. But there's the first one that we have going on. Yeah. And the second one, I have a little more than an inch, and they are going, the striping sequence, this is an opal yarn knit on 1.5 2mm needles. The striping sequence is going opposite directions from each other. That's the first time I think I've ever done that. So that's exciting to take a breath and jump in and try, you know. It's just unusual for me. So there's that. And then my last project bag. This is gonna be a short show, guys, unless I do a whole lot of talking about my big 4-year-old. I know, technically he's not 4 yet, but don't tell him that. He had his first birthday party with all of his friends. We went to a bouncy place, indoor bounce houses. I think there are 5 of them, different things, and then there's an arcade and a big party cabin inside that's very nice. And 10 of his friends came, so that was great. Or we had 10 kids total, so that was great. I didn't want any less than 10. For some reason, I felt like I'm a failure as a mom if I throw this big, lavish party for him that he has requested. He wants a big birthday party, and I can't get enough kids there. So it worked out all right. We had 2 last-minute cancels. I don't know if that's standard or not, but yeah. So I was very happy with the turnout. Very good time was had by all the stewardesses, I don't know what to call them, attendants, party attendants. They were amazing. Those 2 girls, I think they're high school girls that live in the area, and they just, you know, they took care of everything. They told me not to get there before 15 minutes before the party started, and I was like, how is that enough time? They were amazing. They just took everything for me. They started hanging up decorations, they put out the balloons, they lined out the plates, they taped down the tablecloth, like they did everything. And we had 5 minutes to spare before people got there. It was amazing, amazing to me. So there was that part of it. My parents came, they've been gone for about 5 weeks, so they got home that morning. They camped out in Massachusetts the night before and then drove up the rest of the way home. So they were there. Steve's dad came. There's a plane flying overhead. Roland's only cousin of that generation, right? So he came, his cousin Case was there. It was great. Uncle Dave came, and then a bunch of Roland's preschool friends, a bunch of the boys. So the girls were the ones that canceled on me. What's that about? But Autumn came, and she and Roland have been together since day 1. They're best buddies, along with his friend Parker. So, and Jacob, like everybody. It was great. It was great. The kids I needed to be there were there. So, and he had a good time. And I got to know some of the other moms a little bit better. And I did a really good job, because even though I sit here and talk with you, I'm very introverted, and it's hard for me to like meet people. You know, go and talk to a stranger, and what are we going to talk about? Oh my God. So even though I've seen these parents like at drop off and pick up, and you say hello, like to make the point of going up and working the room and saying hello to every person and going back around later and checking with everyone. I did a good job. So we did that, and then my sister-in-law and Roland's cousins spent the rest of the day with us, so that was great. We got to play and open presents back at the house, and it was just low-key and a really nice time. And then the next morning, what did we do? We got up, and Steve and Roland went to his uncle's to the pool and swam and saw his grandfather there. And Tristan and I rested because we were tired. And then my parents came over, and we did a second round of cake and birthday presents. And I made that cake. So now you know the backstory. I'm going to show you the videos because you know I love to share my videos. Are you gonna put the 4 on too?
That's a great setup.
Wow, amazing, Roland. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Roland. Happy birthday to you. Come on! Yeah! Yeah! So yeah, that was Roland's birthday. It was a great time. I'm sure you're as shocked as I am that he's just 4 years old. I measured him this morning. He's grown 2 inches in 8 months, and because we have the same growth chart. And Tristan has grown 2 inches in 3 months. So yes, it does slow down the growth rate, but he's just tall and a beanpole, and well, not quite a beanpole, but where's my baby cheekies and, you know, the chunk? It's all gone. It's all gone. So, oh, he's so fun. They are so fun. So, anyways, don't get me going about my boys. I will talk about them all day long, every day. Love it. So, which brings me to more knitting. Let's talk more knitting. I finished my baby surprise jacket. I wove in my ends and I sewed on the buttons. I haven't blocked it yet, but come on. 2 out of the 3 finishing steps are done. So here it is. This is White Birch Fiber Arts. The teal and dark yellow stripes are that. You can see it pretty good right here, the base color. And then I striped in FiberKnit Dyeworks Summer Squash color, which is the light yellow, just to extend the length of the knitting. My work is pretty messy here. So this was knit on, did I write it down? US 4's 3.5 millimeter needles. I don't know if it's that it was garter stitch and I was super relaxed knitting it or what, but the finished product, I looked at it and said, this has to go to a knitter because I can't gift it to a non-knitter. They'll be like, thanks for your homemade sweater. Like, I just think of the stereotypes. That's what this looks like to me. Like, it's not even, the knit front and back stitches look messy. I'm just, you know, the button band looks a little wavy. I did do buttons all the way down. I don't know if the pattern calls for that, but I thought it needed it based on, this is my 4th one. I said I had knit 3, this is the 4th one I've knit. So I found these great star buttons in my stash. I only had 4 of the same size, so the 5th one's a little bigger. It's fine. So I do have a matching swirl hat to go with it, and maybe once it's blocked, it'll lay a little flatter and be a bit neater. I'm sure from where you are, it looks fine, but I'm not so thrilled with it. So, I don't know. Hoping blocking will fix it. So there's that. Let's stop for a second. Did you notice my t-shirt? Yes, it's my Lorax t-shirt. So, I pretty much can't read that book without crying. So when that was off my needles, I cast on another project. This is, and I told you it was coming, this is the Anders by Soren Kier. It is knit with Leading Man Fiber Arts in the, is that a goose? Maybe it was a goose. All the way to the bank colorway, which is this great emerald green. And then the nude scene. So this is a color work pattern. I have it's, oh no! Jumping off my needles in my project bag with my new stitch markers, which I do not want to lose. These are Heidi and Lana, I think. Fibernet talked about them, and then I'll link it in the show notes. I went and bought a couple sets of them just because they're so cute. They're the loop, and then it's a twisted with a jewel on the end. You're not going to be able to see that from there, but I'll try. So the sweater, the Anders itself, is a top-down raglan Henley. So it's knit back and forth until you get to the end of the chest, and then you start going in the round and break off for the sleeves. And then the color work happens. So right now it's been a fun, easy, take-along project. I love the color. I'm using US size 4s, 3.5 millimeter needles. The pattern calls for 5s, and then a size up for the color work. Great. I usually knit loose, just at a looser gauge. So I went, and I couldn't find any 5s, so I went with the 4s. I think I'll be okay, and then I'll increase to the 6s. I found the 6s. I'll increase to the 6s for the color work part, and I think that'll be okay. Plus, in the round, I'm tighter than on the flat. My pearls are not as tight as my knits. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that. It's really pretty. There's this cool detail around the edge after the ribbing. I don't know if you can see that, but it's very interesting the way you work that stitch, and that in itself is worth the cost of admission on the pattern. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And that is for my friend Suzanne, who is having her first little boy, yay, in November. I talked about him last time, I think. And so I'm knitting the 3 to 6 month size for him. So hopefully he'll be able to wear it that first winter, probably February, unless he's big like our guys, and then he'll wear it in December. I'm knitting that for him, working out the kinks, and then I'll go up a size and knit that for Tristan. So that's it for knitting. How about I tell you about Mission 2015? Show you my notes. Look at this. Old school, right? Just some scribble on a notepad, because that's how we roll today. 2015, so the goals: 12 pairs of socks in the year. I've knit 7. I haven't gone any further than that, as you know if you've been watching. Knit 16 to 22 barn raising quilt squares. I have done 12. I added 4 more this past month, so yay that. I'm on track there, totally. 2 sweaters for me. Haven't knit any more for me, but I do have those both finished. A sweater for each of the boys. I'm getting closer, okay? I'm doing my test knit before knitting one of them. Rhinebeck is a month away, so we're not gonna have sweaters for boys for Rhinebeck. Ro can wear his beekeeper Landstrope. The Elizabeth Green Musselman, it's a pumpkin spice colored Cascade 220 sweater that has the beehive texture on it, or honeycomb, that's what I'm trying to say, honeycomb texture on it, that I knit last year at this time. He can totally wear that. And Tristan, maybe I'll have one done, we'll see. The yarn I bought for his sweater, I bought the same Callback Base by Leading Men Farber Arts. I bought the darker green for him, more of a spruce green, to go with the white. I thought that would make a prettier contrast. So I'll have them done for Christmas / Thanksgiving, because that gives me an extra one. I'll just keep moving it back until they're done, right? As my end goal. Let's see. End with less. So I finished the Tristan's blanket during the last month. I still haven't woven it my end. Have to do that. I finished that, so that brought my active projects down to 3, which is unprecedentedly low. I did not touch any of my hibernating projects this past month, which makes me say, shame on you, Stephanie. I need to frog a sweater, so maybe I'll do that today. I need to do something just to get that count down, because right now my hibernating count is at 13. I need to get that to 10, and then I will say, have at it, do whatever you want. So my goal is to get to 15, and I did start the year at 29, so currently I'm at 17 UFOs and in-progress projects. I was just whips. UFOs and whips. I'm at 17, so I'm very close to 15. So I still have a couple months, but I know there'll be more cast-ons because 3 is really, really light for me. So there's that. Did I say 3? I did say 3. What am I not really counting? Because I showed you more than 3, right? No, I just showed you 3. I haven't finished one. That's what the 4th is. Yes. Okay. And then yardage. So I did buy 4 skeins of callback this month. And even though I had knit, which is a sport weight, 300 something yards per skein, even though I had knit quite a bit of yarn, it wasn't enough to offset. So I broke my streak of being down, and I am up a quarter of a mile, which is not a lot. I can totally knit that back down, but I am at 169.4 miles of yarn in my stash. So still working my way down. I'll get there. Steve and I were talking about Rhinebeck, and he's excited to go, I'm excited to go, but at the same time, we're trying to spend less money, trying to get ready to move. I don't need to make one of these massive stash acquisitions. So it's like, well, if I bought 3 skeins, I would feel like the trip was worth it, you know, or a sweater's worth it. Maybe a sweater's worth it and a 4th skein, you know, because I know Babs is going to be there, and that's who I'm going to want to hit. Babs and Into the World and artichokes. Watching some llamas. I think Tristan would really enjoy going through the goat barns, and it's just a happy place to be. Maybe we'll go on Sunday, so there's less people, because we're gonna have to bring the Bob stroller, and people do not appreciate the Bob. It is why since it's like a big jogging stroller, it's not like your normal width. It's extra wide with those giant tires, and when you're trying to go through a cram building, I know that the moms get it, but the not moms are just like, oh, why'd you bring that stroller? So, yeah, I suppose I could strap Tristan on my back, and Steve could put Ro on his shoulders. We're good for about an hour like that, and then Ro has to get down, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say for today. The sun is getting really hot. I can feel my skin getting like tight and prickly, which tells me that it's definitely time to go, because I know I have sunscreen in my makeup, but it's not much. So, for the nice breeze. So I hope you have a great 10 days or so until I see you again. Enjoy September. Good luck to all your children going back to school. I know it's a stressful, emotional time for so many moms out there, and you are all in my thoughts, and I wish you the best. Okay, take care. Bye.